Thank you for listening to Life Improvement Radio. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to welcome to the program author James Hannibal. James, thanks for calling. And is this the first time you've been to the Miami Book Fair?
It is the first time. I've been actually away from the airport in Miami, which has been amazing.
And so other festivals have you gone to before this? This is the first book festival you've gone to?
No, not the first book festival. I've done book festivals in Texas and New York and Chicago, but this one has a completely different feel, and there's a children's alley here that is just amazing.
Oh, it is. Truly.
Gotcha.
And your background is very interesting. Peter, I know you have a question already, so you probably are going to ask about his background. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask about your background. Is if you could sum yourself up, in let's say like 20 seconds, what would it be?
Okay, background is fighter and bomber pilot, flew the stealth bomber, the whole top secret world thing, which gave me some ideas for covert ops books and secret society books like The Lost Property Office. And then I have something called synesthesia, which makes my senses intersect, and so I see sounds and hear flashes of light, and it's helped me catch bad guys in the past.
Gotcha. All right.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to just tell you thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I mean, it's just something
very much
that,
appreciated.
I mean, having people, and I think that this is an important part, is that we have to honor our servicemen and women, because we wouldn't have the freedoms of writing books like this and broadcasting our opinions and different things if we didn't have someone like you. So, thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So how did you become the author now with this background? What made you want to write books and stuff?
Well, I always wanted to be a writer, and when I left active service a few years ago, I just started, I was flying for the airlines, and so sitting in hotels with the free time to sit down at a keyboard and start writing. Really, I feel like I've been working towards this point, writing in sort of the black ops niche, which was my background, and then building to the point where I can write this children's story that has been in my brain for a very long time, and I'm just so excited about.
Was it difficult to transition from past to going more so towards writing and being an author? The service and working with the military, and it's such a wonderful world. It's very hard to step back from that. But if you're going to write, and you really have to, because it's sort of a can't serve two masters sort of thing. And so it was actually very difficult for me to step back from the active duty world and the reserve world, working with real world missions, in order to write more and work on this second love. Gotcha.
Wow. Okay. And so children's book, what was the thought process in children's? You talked about why you wanted to write, but then to transition in that area, I think you'd have a very amazing memoir with what you've done as well. But I understand people that are fighter pilots. I have a friend of mine who's a client who's a fighter pilot and now flies for Southwest, and I think he doesn't really want to talk about himself. He wants to talk about other things. Is that one reason why you never have written a memoir?
Part of that, and part of the reason is most of my memoir would be classified, and it would just be too difficult to get it out to the public, and so I have to write fiction instead. But the thing that really drew me to children's stories, I have a love for C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. And then I was in London and on Baker Street trying to find my detective hero Sherlock Holmes at 221B, and found the Lost Property Office there, which is this wonderful, mysterious, lost and found for all of London with these artifacts dating back, almost 100 years, right there in the window, things that have been left on tube trains and carriages for, generations past. And that must be, the front for a secret society of detectives, and so the story just began to form itself.
Gotcha. So what would you recommend someone transitioning from service and thinking about writing about their experiences or about the story, in a format?
What I would recommend, the first thing is go to places like this. Go to the Miami Book Fair. Go to writers' conferences in the area that you want to write, and learn from people there, and begin to discover that whole new community.
Gotcha. All righty.
Okay, and so how has been the feedback so far for your book? What feedback have you gotten so far?
The Lost Property Office was a BEA Buzz book for children's, which is they pick 15 breakout stories every year for the Book Expo America, and Lost Property was chosen by a panel of 90 librarians and educators. It was just yesterday or day before yesterday picked as one of Publishers Weekly Shelf Talker's top 20 books to give for the holidays. I'll tell you, the cover art is practically wrapping paper. It's so gorgeous, and so the receipt has been very, very good. We've been received very well so far, and hopefully that will continue. And obviously, Sony likes it. They've optioned it for film.
All righty. Who would you say the book is targeted towards or meant for?
This is a middle grade. This is a library journal, I think, called it Harry Potter meets Sherlock Holmes meets Doctor Who. So we do like the Harry Potter meets Sherlock Holmes, and that's the target audience. It is the 8 to 12 range. Publishers Weekly Shelf Talker also made it their singular pick for elementary this year.
Wow.
And so it's got my favorite pieces: history, mystery, and magic, and that is just the age range. Although it has been received on the adult side quite well as well.
Awesome.
Sony Pictures, that's got to be an absolute honor. Did you pursue that with an agent, or did people say you should think about this?
No, it was very quickly after the BEA announced their Buzz books that we began to get interest, and we really loved what Sony had to say and the things that they loved about the book, not just the action and adventure, but the story of family that's in it, and that really touched my heart when I spoke to them, and so we were very excited to work with them on this project and see where it goes.
That's just tremendous, and you were probably shocked by it in certain ways, right? Saying, okay, you got the buzz,
absolutely. It was so quick. It was so very fast. Once the BEA made the announcement that things began to happen, and so it can be immediately overwhelming. And then, of course, there are non-disclosures as things are settled, and so you can't tell anybody about it for a little while. And so that you have to bottle all that up inside for a bit.
If it does make a debut as a motion picture, will there be any changes, or what would you change from the book to the big screen?
Well, I wouldn't change anything, and I unfortunately, or fortunately, scriptwriters take a book and they make it right for film. Not everything in a book should be on screen because it won't work. And then some things that aren't in the book will appear on screen because they couldn't show up in the book. And so the movie will be different in some ways, but I have great confidence that it will follow the story the way that other producers and directors have worked hard to recreate other stories like The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter.
Gotcha.
So James, are you going to
right.
be hands-on? Are you going to be hands-on once it does get put as a film and they start picking the actors and stuff, and sometimes go to set and stuff? Some people don't. Other people do. It's kind of up to you in certain ways, just to see how the project's developing.
I will be as hands-on as they will let me, but I will let the professionals do their job because they know their industry best.
And promotion's the key, right? Because then, if your book is a success, as a picture, then other books you write will be that way. And then look out, your dream pastime of killing time when you were flying an airplane and stuck at different hotel rooms has led to something so special for you.
It will be, and we'll leave that in God's hands. But the future looks bright, and I'm very excited about it, and we'll just see where it goes.
All right.
Are you already working on your next work? Is that in the project? Yeah.
Absolutely. The Lost Property Office is a series, and the Fourth Ruby is the next in the Section 13 series, tracing the history, in order to stop a madman from rejoining three real rubies that have left a trail of blood and betrayal through 800 years of history all over the globe, that all came from the same mine. And that will be out November 2017, the next Jack Buckles Section 13 adventure. and I've already turned in the manuscript, so now I've got to start working on number 3.
And are you still flying?
Already.
Are you still flying, or are you just writing full time now?
I am flying as an on-call pilot, which means that I sit at home at this moment. I've taken sort of a lower paycheck to sit at home and write. And when someone gets sick and calls in, then I'll go in and fly to London or Brazil or Tokyo, wherever they need me to go. But being on call allows me to work in my home office, which is obviously better for research and other things. Well, I was in London on a trip when I got the inspiration for this story, and London really is my favorite place in the world because you can't throw a stone without hitting, some sort of history and just the hidden secrets behind every nook and cranny. But every place in the world has wonderful things. Right here in Miami, in fact, if you go and find books and books, there's a historic bookstore that I found last night that is really neat, just a unique layout. And so wherever I'm at, I can find these great things. And being a pilot has allowed me to do that.
Cool.
Oh wow! And also, James, interesting part of what you do, you talk more not just about as children's books. You have another pastime too, right? Involved in writing some other stuff too. If I was looking at your research,
I do. I think what you're asking about is I previously had a covert ops series, the Nick Barron series, and so I've written a series based on a stealth unit in the Air Force, and so that and I'm working on some more CIA work for that, CIA fiction for that genre.
When you were a fighter pilot, did you think that you would be? Writing, was that always a pastime of yours that said, I want to do this?
Oh, absolutely. My writing has been a love for me since I was a little kid. I grew up and I turned lyrical poems into stories and wrote as much as I could, and so writing has always been a love of mine. But it wasn't until I got out of active duty that I was able to really focus on it.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Best place we can purchase your book. I know it's available all finer bookstores, places we can connect with you, all those different places. Where can we go?
Go to your local independent bookstore and support them, if not Amazon. But you can find all the information at thelostpropertyoffice.com. Well,
James, is fun. Thanks for taking the time, and best of luck in your venture, and enjoy the rest of your time in Miami.
I will. Thank you so much for having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
All right, I enjoyed it as well. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
You too. Keep the line on. You're listening to Author's Corner, powered by Life Improvement Radio, live from the Miami Book Fair, and I'm with Peter Elvidge.
Thank you for listening to Life Improvement Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and shall not be construed in any way as advice from Life Improvement Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by the producers, writers, or editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the expressed written consent of Life Improvement Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.